So we've learned ting as in I listen, and we learned dong as in to understand. What we'll be doing in Chinese now is that we'll contract these two words, these two characters, and we'll be using them a lot together actually. You'll hear it in any textbooks, and anyone, if they know any Chinese, will probably tell you, will probably just tell you to say, if you don't understand, say 听不懂, 听不懂. So this will be like a set expression. I'll explain it to you more later on. This has to do with resultative verbs. It's very, very interesting. I might have picked I picked that word on my own because there wasn't any existing word for this. But the idea is that it's resultative verbs. What we're doing is, what I just said was 听不懂. We can just say that 3-4 times to ourselves so that we can recognize it acknowledge it as a sentence. So 听不懂, 听不懂, and it means to not understand. 听不懂, 听不懂. Okay, so let's hear Anne here say it a few times just before we move on a little bit.
你好，你会说中文吗？
我当然会说中文啦，我会说很多很多很多很多的中文。比如说那个诗人现在做一首诗，然后这条河非常的漂亮。
我听不懂，听不懂。
好吧。
So 听不懂, 听不懂 is what we'll be saying if we don't understand something. 听不懂, 听不懂. I think you've heard it enough times to remember it now. Now you need to understand it as well. This is something we'll talk about a lot later on as well, but it's just set as a set expression now, and I would just want to mention it briefly. 听 means to listen, so that's the main core verb of the sentence, we can say. But then there's a resultative verb, as in the result of what we're doing. We're listening, but that doesn't imply that I'm hearing you or that I am understanding you. So what we do then is, Chinese is very keen on sort of pinpointing if you're listening or if you're looking at something. So usually when someone is talking, I'm giving you instructions, for instance, just like I'm doing now. And at the end of it, what you're doing is you ting, and then, but you're listening, but maybe you don't understand. But you're still listening, so you should not negate the ting, you should negate the dong. So then you take two verbs and you put the bu wherever it belongs, and usually in the middle here, because you listen, but you don't understand. So 听不懂, and that's actually how we put these two characters together here, or these two words together here. Or make it into a verb, make it into a word, sorry. And now you will hear 听不懂 a lot. But what's very important as well is that you'll probably not hear 听不明白 a lot. But now that you understand the rule, dong should be at the end because you don't understand. But we already know the word 明白, which basically means dong. So instead of saying 听不懂, we can replace that understand with another word that means understand. So 听不懂 or 听不明白. 听不明白. And now if you want to sound a bit unique, I think you should start saying this one instead. Because like I said earlier, all the foreigners already walk around on the streets of China and they say 听不懂, 听不懂. But I want you to start saying now instead, to make yourself feel and sound a bit more unique and smart, and you'll impress foreigners if you say this. Skip the 听不懂. Just make sure you understand it. Instead say 听不明白, 听不明白, 听不明白. I don't understand. I definitely hope that's not what you're saying behind the camera now. 听不明白, 听不懂. Wonderful.